Good afternoon, Joyce. Thank you for
afternoon.
joining us on this episode of Spotlight.
It's a pleasure.
By the way, Joyce, one thing that captured my eye on your LinkedIn profile, your heading says, passionate and committed to giving our clients the very best experience. We create stunning outfits for every special occasion. With the confidence of experience, we take the stress out of making that big decision.
Yep, that's what we do.
Good. So tell us, Joyce, can you tell us a bit more what you do?
Yeah, well, this is our 30th year, starting this year, since we launched the business. And it started in a cottage in Bearsden, where we originally started with a cruisewear collection, and we manufactured it downstairs. And then very quickly, it turned around into being weddings. People were buying the evening wear to go to weddings. And that was where my previous business in the 1970s and beginning of the 80s had been in the wedding business. And I think that's my handwriting, and it very quickly turned back round to being special occasions rather than just cruisewear. And we started going to wedding exhibitions, and we've been doing that now twice a year to the SEC, the Scottish Wedding Exhibition, since about 1995. So yeah, we opened a shop in London in 1999, and we've had a move there about 7 years ago. We moved to bigger premises, and so we now have a manufacturing unit at Maryhill Station. Our showroom is next door to it, and we have the shop in Belsize Park in London as well.
Wonderful. How many shops do you have to date?
Two now. Yeah, two. We did have, we've got another business called Tartan Spirit. We had a shop in Cameron House Hotel, and that was more everything to do with tartan, from accessories to wedding dresses. And we do specialize in tartan, but that's all incorporated into our couture collection now. Very good.
Now tell me, Joyce, when you were growing up, is this something you always wanted to do?
I guess so. I actually went to art college and studied interior design, but from about the age of 6, I was sketching clothes on models, and then I started making dolls' clothes, and that graduated on to making my own clothes when I was about 12, 13. And when I was at art college, they didn't actually have a fashion course, but I used to take part in the fashion show, so made clothes for that. And the first job was for a designer for M&S. M&S in 1975 were just starting to ask manufacturers to bring them designs rather than then send the manufacturers designs. And I've been in the fashion industry ever since.
Wow. So how many years have you been running the business then?
This business, 30 years. And I had a business after I had been working for a manufacturer for M&S. I started up a business with another girl, and that ran from about 76 to 81. Then we stopped and had children. And then I went back in the 80s back into working for a manufacturer for M&S, and then started this business in 1993.
Wow, very, very good. So a good journey you've had so far.
Yeah. In one way, it seems very short, and another way, it seams.
Yeah, with ups and downs and COVID in between. Yeah. Okay, so by the way, you are an OBE. How did that come about?
Just very, very, very much a surprise. I had no idea, or didn't really know a lot about investitures, etc. So it just, an envelope dropped through the door one day to our shop in Bearsden, and I think that was 2013. It was New Year's honours list, and I knew about it from November, but couldn't tell anybody until it was announced at New Year. And it was just a complete surprise. I thought it was a wind up to begin with. I thought it was I'd come to the wrong place, or I just, it was just something that kind of, so I still actually don't know who put me forward for it. But it was for services to textiles and the Glasgow community. So it was very unexpected and a wonderful surprise. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's fantastic. So Joyce, what business changes you made in the business because of COVID?
Well, I think we used the time to our advantage. Obviously we couldn't manufacture because people couldn't come in for fittings. We were at the beginning of our busy periods, so we had a few hundred people from Glasgow and London at various stages of their journey, because everything we do is made to measure. So we had people who were first fitting, which is done in a cotton toile, then the second fits are done in the fabric, and then they collect. So we had garments at all different stages when everything just closed down. And the first couple of weeks, my husband and I stayed at home as we were told to do. And then we thought, well, we could actually be down in the business with the gates shut outside and get on with things there. So everybody else, I think, redecorated their houses and tidied their drawers. Things. Mine's still in the same in the same state. So we just came to the business and actually started. So we started a fabric shop. So I spent the time photographing fabric that we've collected over the years that we can't get anymore, or ends of rolls or whatever that we've got. So it ties very much into the zero waste and circular economy just now. And we, so I put it on dummies. I thought, well, how do you sell online? Because obviously everything during COVID went online. And I thought, I can't really imagine buying fabric online. You've got to feel it and see the drape, etc. So I draped it on a mannequin and came up with all sorts of designs without cutting the fabric to show how the fabric draped. And then just rolled it, counted it. And then we have a little unit further down from our showroom. And we decided to set that up as a fabric shop. So yeah, so very busy during that time, and started a website called the Glasgow Fabric Store. But then it came July and we opened up again. Of course, you know, sort of it was full steam ahead, getting back to getting the customers in again. And so it's sort of on the back burner. It's there, but we haven't had a lot of time to, but it's a whole different business to what we have.
Yes.
And it's basically from our offcuts. There is a whole business for crafters with beautiful fabrics you can't get on the high street. And most of the fabric shops have disappeared now in Glasgow. So that's a little business there that's kind of sitting ready to be pushed forward. And then the second lockdown, because then we came back in the July. We sat around a table with all our orders and phoned people up and changed the appointments. And each person's got 3 appointments. So it was a huge, you know, sort of process to go through changing them all. And then blew me, we had another lockdown after that. So they all had to get changed again. So we just went, this time we'll let our clients phone us and we'll put them in little by little, because it's made to measure. People didn't want to have their outfits made early. And even though we were back and could do it, their weddings had now all been postponed to next year and the following year. So all their dates had changed. And because, as I say, it's made to measure, they were seeing them, that giving them another year to lose weight. That's our biggest problem, is because we make to measure, everybody wants to lose weight, and well, most people. So they didn't want the outfits too early. So that was quite a problem for us to try and, you know, sort of just keep everything going and evenly through. So we had work to take us through to the following year. And then we had the other lockdown. And during that time, again, I thought, online, we don't have anything we can do online. So designed a collection of simple, because what we do is very simple styles in beautiful fabrics. So we took some styles and designed some new styles that were simple in a very nice fabric, but that could be made through easily. So we started a website, or we were going to start a fresh website, but we were advised to put it onto our existing website. Yes. So we ended up having a whole new website designed with a shop on it now, so that we can sell these online. And they were made, because we could manufacture, we brought back a few people and we made the collection, and it was wonderful for me, because it gave me the luxury of having time to spend just designing and making samples.
Yes.
Because usually when we're doing that, we've got all our clients' work and we're busy on production and we're fitting them in and rushing them through. Whereas this was a time just to spend on getting the patterns right, and so yeah, that's how we spent our lockdown. So we ended up with I suppose 2 new sides to the business.
Yes. What's the phrase in English? Every cloud has its silver lining.
Absolutely, yes, that's true.
Very good. So, who is the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
I don't know really. Success, it depends what you call success. Success is different things to different people.
Yeah.
And some people look at me as being very successful. And I would say I was successful from the point of view that I've been able to spend my life doing what I love doing. So the business is our whole lifestyle. We don't take a lot of holidays. So we're just I don't have the best work-life balance as far as the home life, and because my husband is in the business as well, so we do tend to spend a lot of our time working on the business, or working in the business actually, and therefore that's success. If I don't run big fancy cars and have lots of holidays, and so yeah, I wouldn't. It's not a success in huge terms of wealth, but we get, we've been going for 30 years and we're doing what we want to do and we have a good lifestyle. But for me, I would look at somebody who, I suppose, some of the dragons and Dragon's Den, they look successful, the entrepreneurs, and people who appear to have made millions, but I don't know, it doesn't necessarily make you happier. I think I'm successful in that I've been happy doing what I love doing. So
yeah, that's a great point, actually, when you said, well, it depends what you mean by success. And each one of us has a definition of success, but then it's, who do you look up to according to your definition of success? So maybe somebody who has achieved things, keeping a work-life balance, for instance.
Yeah. I can't come out with anybody just just on the spot. I can't actually. Let's say Deborah Meaden. She's got a great personality. She's on TV. She's made her millions. She's and she appears to be very happy. And so she's somebody, and she's in a crafting business. Yeah. I mean, when you look at most of the designers, you hear that they're in debt for millions, and they're part of a larger big company. So
yes.
So they're not. There's a huge pressure on them with shareholders, etc. When you talk designers, we're lucky enough that we've done it. So got here on our own with the help of the bank. But we don't have anybody else telling us what to do, or sort of giving us direction, or I suppose maybe that's a good thing to have that. But we've done it on our own, basically, and we're still here after 30 years. So that's a success. That's got to be something.
I saw a documentary. I was on a plane flying somewhere, and I was watching a documentary of a designer who was very successful, but every time after the catwalk happened, he would go into a deep depression, and then again he would come up with ideas, and it would be bust and bust. He eventually, very sadly, committed suicide in his 30s or early 40s. It's a catchy name. I can't remember it.
Alexander McQueen.
Yes, that's the one. So again, professional success, but to what end? So
and also I think that genius is on the list. It's not necessarily comes with a lot of happiness as well. But I think, I read that they are under huge pressure, and I think same with anybody that's in the public spotlight, and anyone that is successful, that pressure to stay at the top and come out with something new every time, and is very, very pressured. And we all have, obviously, we're pressured in as well because they always say you're only as good as your last collection. So, and things change, if people, if just because you're well known at one point, you've got to keep at it all the time. You can never rest on your laurels.
Yes. I mean, to climb up.
And I realised that I gave you the wrong. Deborah Meaden is the one in the leisure industry, not the judge with the crafting business.
Yes.
It just shows you. I don't really spend a lot of time thinking or looking to other people. I think we're just so wrapped up in our own issue, but we're wrapped up. Stephen Bart. I'm following Stephen Bartlett just now on LinkedIn.
Okay, there you go. Yes. Now, Joyce, what is your biggest learning since you've been running a business in these 30 years? Can you share with us a big learning you've had in running a business?
I go with your gut, I think. Don't listen to I think you have to have confidence in yourself, and that's not always easy. I think you have to be a hard worker. I think you have to be prepared to put in lots of hours, because again, it doesn't come easily. And you've got to take other people's advice, and also but temper it with what you yourself want. Because what I've always found is the ideas have come from other people, haven't necessarily worked, and I've gone along with them because I've thought it's a good idea. I think it's got to come from the heart and come from yourself, and then you can bring in other people, but you have to be fully committed to what you get involved in. And then you've only yourself to complain if it doesn't work. But yeah, there's been a few projects where it seemed like a good idea for us, like opening a shop at Gretna Green, because it was proposed to us, etc. And my gut feeling was it wasn't right for us, and we gave it 18 months, and it wasn't right for us. So, yeah, there's a few things that they come along as, and they seem possibly a good idea. But I think if you get that feeling that from the beginning, it's not right, then so don't go with your gut feeling.
Yeah. So whenever you went against your gut feeling, it didn't work out. So you should follow your gut feeling more often.
Yeah. And I'm not sure we do a lot. We have a lot of strings to our bow, because I'm I suppose creative. Then I'm always coming up with ideas. I love a project. I love starting something and seeing it through, and that whole sort of excitement of whether it's organizing a catwalk show or a new collection, or sort of the fabric shop, or all the things we've started. But there's only actually so many things that you can do. And I think one of my downfalls, or in one way, is that I have too many things on the go, and actually don't let go of the reins enough. So I would like to be at this stage in my business working on the business instead of in the business, as they say. So I think sort of having, with all the experience behind me, that I should now be looking into the business and seeing, rather than seeing the clients or being there all the time. But it's very, very difficult. Well, financially, it's very difficult to employ the right people and sort of bring in people if you can do it yourself. And then because you do it yourself and have a lot of different areas where your talent lies, then you want to do it yourself, and that's quite hard. And then when you do bring in young people who've started to, you've got to guide them, but when they come up with ideas, you've got to listen to them as well, without saying, oh, we did that before, because that's the problem with the experience, is you've very often been there, done that, but it might just have been the wrong time. So you've obviously got to listen to people. If you bring them in and you believe in them, you have to listen as well.
On that point, do you have any advice for your 18-year-old self?
Well, it took, I mean, I as I say, I was always very motivated and hardworking. I think I came from a family that believed that hard work was next to godliness or something. So we do tend to work a lot. And I think I probably was fairly positive, but it was in my mid-30s before I did a course on sort of positivity. I was working for Beardware, and it was a course called Towards Excellence by Lou Tice, an American positive health guru and personal development. And I took it. It came at a time in my life when I was separating from my husband, and it was just at the right time for me, and I took on all the positivity so I wish I'd known that earlier.
Yes.
As a thing rather than just a feeling. I don't know that I would have been able to do things differently. I mean, I could probably say now, looking back, I should spend more time on sport or something if I'm not sporty. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to say looking back, but I can't think of anything huge other than the whole being, sort of entrepreneurial and positive and have faith in yourself from the beginning. I think it wasn't until I met my second husband in my mid-30s that I got a lot more confidence.
Yes.
And I guess looking back, although I did start I did have a business, we must have had loads of confidence because myself and my partner, we designed everything, made the patterns, made them up, and then went out to sell them to the likes of Dickens and Jones and lots of what I would now call madam shops in Glasgow, which are privately owned shops, in fact, all over the country. So, and we sold our collection, started working from home, and then we got premises above the Rogano, which is no longer there, but in Glasgow, in Buchanan Street. And and we employed a few people. We took that business as far as we could go without taking on loans. So, so we didn't take a lot of money out of the business ourselves. But again, we did it and enjoyed it. And then we thought we'd be able to continue it, but both of us had families, and we just said, no, we don't owe any money, let's get out. And we sort of got out at a sort of a good time, and there was no problems. All our machines we sold to a wedding shop, and the staff got taken on, so we got out nicely.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So
wonderful. So what are your aspirations for the business in the next 5 years?
Well, to get through this in the next year, still be here. I think it's going to be challenging. I think we have to just be careful. I'd love to be expanding and be taking forward all the ideas. I would be obviously I'm positive about the business. I'm very positive about what we've achieved and what we have grown in the last 30 years, and I want to sustain it. I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm getting I'm way past retirement age, so I'm the only person of my friends that's actually still working. So we have to look at the future of how what we're going to do with the business. I see the sustainable side being, we now have a daywear collection, and this collection is we have our made to measures, which is mainly bridal, mother of the bride. We do a lot of investitures, and that's our main part of the business. But growing nicely alongside it is our daywear collection, which is on our shop section. And these dresses are specifically designed for ladies who are, it's always difficult what to call us, because we're more mature, a bit older, or girls that are old enough to have children getting married. And most people want to cover their arms. They've got a bit chunkier around the middle. And this collection is a collection designed specifically for people who don't have the perfect figure anymore. That's fashionable but not overdressed and relaxed. So the main thing is it's a relaxed collection.
Yes. And
I don't think there's a lot of collections around for that age group. So what you call it, the baby boomers, maybe.
Yes.
Because we don't feel it's not nowadays coming up to 70s, not you don't feel that. If we looked at our mothers, we'd have thought that was quite old, but people, just for whatever reason nowadays, seem to be younger, or maybe it's just when you're getting older, you still feel younger. Maybe everyone always felt that.
Yes.
But it's an age group of women that sometimes you can become a bit invisible, you lose confidence because everything seems to be for younger people. And over the last 30 years, dealing with mothers of the bride, mothers of the groom, we see a lot of people come in without a lot of confidence. And the biggest pleasure in our business is to see them go out dancing, basically. We take videos and pictures of them when they leave. And they're so happy and smiling, and they love the way they look, and it's given. And I don't know that clothes should be, hang your confidence on what you wear. But for me, wearing the right thing at the right set is just, it gives people confidence. Yeah. If you know and you feel great, that you look great, and we can't all be, supermodels and, look beautiful and be size 8s and 10s, but we have to embrace what we are and be the best version of ourselves, and clothes can absolutely do that, wearing the right thing. And that just gives me so much pleasure to see people go out wearing an outfit and going to a wedding and looking amazing, and they send pictures, afterwards. So for me, that's worth a lot more than having a lot of money, money to go on holidays. I just love, that's what we do, basically. Yes. But I think this new collection is more sustainable in that it can be rolled out, where the made to measures are a bit limiting, because the more we do, the more people we have to employ. And sadly, it's a dying industry, the fashion industry in Britain. And we're all trying, people are trying to bring it back again, but the skills have gone, so people have to be retrained. And it's not the best paid industry either. So there's girls coming up, everyone wants to be a designer, but nobody wants to be the machinist and the cutter. We're looking for a cutter just now because he's retiring. Yeah. But so, the staff are all coming to retiral age, yeah. And it's very difficult to replace those skills at the level that we need them.
Is that a common problem in the industry, finding people?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that happens across most industries, actually. It's yeah. So what are the biggest challenges running the business at the moment in your industry?
Well, finding the right staff.
Yes.
And I would say that's the biggest one. And marketing. It's just, I think, even though we've got the internet now and websites, it's so dispersed. It used to be, when we started in the 90s, there'd be like one Scottish wedding magazine, yes. Everyone advertised in that, 2 TV channels. If you got on TV, everybody saw it. But now it's great. Obviously, we get people from all over the world inquiring about the dresses, but it's so it's just, you've got to be everywhere and be on Instagram and Facebook and
yes, many platforms out there, and
a lot of platforms. For a smaller amount, sort of people, you've got to just be out there and be shouting, and it's very difficult in our business when people come to see it. They always go, "Oh, I didn't realize, how much there was to it, how big it was, etc." When they come to the factory, people come into a factory, and it's quite rare to have your own factory nowadays. And they come in and go, "So this is where it all happens." That's the first thing people say. This is where it all happens. And but it's for what we do, it's the turnover, the amount of garments our overheads are huge for, sort of, we've got the factory to keep up, the 2 stores, which obviously are very, everything has to be in keeping with the product. But it's people call them an oasis of calm. So,
yes.
And it's just getting out to the right people. I think that's I think if you could, and all businesses will be the same. It's cutting out all the noise, or whatever, all the people who are ever going to be a customer, and homing in on the people and keeping those people. And that's where the day dresses come in. When all the weddings are over and the sons and daughters are married, then there's still the day dress collection and some more casual things.
Yes.
to keep going. So I think, getting to really going to our database of people, past customers, that's huge, to just keep in touch, because everybody, when they have been through the process, they'll come maybe first time to look for an outfit, and then maybe 3 fittings afterwards. So they'll come probably at least 4 times to us. And so they leave friends. I mean, it's really, we get to know everybody, and it's just a very nice environment. And therefore, keeping in touch is important, because if there's nothing to come back for, there's no reason then that they would be back in the shop. But if we keep in touch by newsletters and show what we're doing and offers, etc., for less stressy things, that's how I see it going forward.
Okay. Many business owners find time management a problem. They don't have enough time to do everything they want to do. They haven't got a work-life balance, or they work too many hours.
Yeah, well, you're certainly speaking to that person.
So has this been a problem for you?
Yeah, time management, certainly. I wouldn't be somebody that could talk about that. I could talk about it, but I don't walk the walk. So, and I think possibly particularly, as I am, as I say, creative, artistic, I have a bit of a butterfly mind. So I've got a pile of fabric sitting here beside me, and I'll start one thing, and then I'll go on to something else, and before you know it, I've got a whole load of ideas going in my head, but nothing concrete's come out. But I'm all over the, I think, and it's then reining all that in. So you need time to do that. I should, if I was managing my time, I would have a Monday for designing, a Tuesday for something else, and but and then because you're in the business, specifically in Glasgow, if I'm here, people will come and ask me questions, whereas if I'm not here, they would sort it out themselves. I find it's quite difficult to, and that's why I just end up working. The children are all grown up and with their own children, so I don't need to be rushing home and taking them out to ballet lessons or anything anymore. So, but we allow that to creep into our personal time, and we're a bit better than we used to be. But because my husband's also in the business, we'll just work a bit later.
Sometimes it's you get sidetracked with shiny objects. You want to do everything, and I always say you can do anything but not everything.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's true. Or you can't do everything well. I think that's the thing, that you can attempt to do everything, but for instance, we would be competing with people who have, I'm thinking Mother of the Bride's collections that are in shops. They just have design departments. That's all they do. They just spend their time designing and developing, and that's and then they go into the shop. Whereas we're juggling our new designs with our current, and so we're all multitasking, and that's where it was such a luxury to have that time during the second lockdown, just to spend like a design department, just doing the designs. That was great.
Joyce, it's been a real pleasure to have you join us today at Action Coach Spotlight, and for sharing your experience, wisdom, and candor with us today.
Pleasure. That's one thing I can talk about forever, is the business.
Yeah, definitely. Now, are you happy to give us a tour of the shop?
Yeah, so I can just take.
Is that you? Yes.
Shall I take the computer? I'll just unplug it.
I'll pause the. Okay, let me.
So I don't know. So
yes,
you're coming in. If you're coming in the door.
Yes. And this shop is in Bearsend?
It's just at Maryhill Station beside our factory. So we've got Rebecca is sitting working on our social media.
Okay.
And that's where people come and sit and wait while the brides or the mothers are taken away to try on the outfits.
Yes.
And then this.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Very stylish.
Yeah. And then this is where the brides would come. That's me in the mirror.
In fact, I'm going to a wedding on Saturday.
Oh, right. We've got a few people at weddings on Saturday.
Yes.
Whereabouts is that?
It's they are getting married in St. Aloysius Church.
Right, in Glasgow.
And then the reception is in Sherbrooke Hotel.
Oh, nice, in Glasgow. Yeah.
Yes.
Marie says I have to show you the king and me, the king and I.
Yes, no, but fantastic. Wow.
And then there's a balcony upstairs.
Yes.
I can take you through to the factory.
Say again?
I can take you through to the factory.
Yeah, go for it.
I might lose you and have to come back.
Okay, let me pause this.
So we're actually in a...
Okay, so this is the factory.
Yeah, so this is the factory.
Yes.
These are lots of garments hanging up waiting for fittings.
Yes.
And got lots of dummies in all different sizes. From size 10. That's not one of the dummies. That's
hello.
That's Audrey.
Very nice dummy, yeah.
Walk round here. So we've got all sorts of garments hanging up, of hand beaded.
Yes.
These are ones that are ready to go to our shop in London.
Yes.
Store of
So how often do you go to London then?
Marshana.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. How often do I go to London? Well, it used to be before COVID once a month.
Yes.
But now it's been, well, we were 3 times in the last few months. So yeah, once a month we try and do.
Okay.
This is fabrics, just getting ready for designing for the fashion show at the SECC in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's a very impressive setup, Joyce.
Yeah, the shop's nice and tidy, and the factory's a working environment, busy place.
Yes. Yeah, you said it's nice and tidy, and I always say the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. This is behind the scenes. This is organized chaos.
Yes, that's wonderful.
It is organized.